Hello everybody and welcome! Oh yes, it's Monday night. Where else would we be? It's here for Gentlemen's Racing Club Season 13, here for round 2 of the new season, here at the Interlagos, Brazil circuit. Oh yeah, love this place, love the Dust Bowl. My name is Simon Smith and I'll be taking you through the next 3 mini races of fun action. We've got Simon Melchwish as ever on cameras. You can come join us in the Stream 3 chat room of the simrace.tv website, or you can tweet me at @Satoromon or at @smelwish or Simon Melchwish or at RFGRC if you fancy doing some of that too. But I'm not monitoring that one, so your prayers may go unanswered, a bit like mine every time I look at my pay packet and wished it was a little bit bigger. So we're just moving forward to the qualifying session here today. I'll take you through some of the stuff that's gone on round 1 when we get to the cut in the middle. But I can tell you that the 20 drivers who we've got vying for pole position today, the vast majority of them have been very, very, very close to the front of the pace indeed. One man stood head and shoulders above the rest in the practice session, and that was Kyril Aziz, who appears to have clicked with this track perfectly. There's a big rumble going on. I assume that's a motorbike going underneath my legs. Yes. Toodles, naff off, noisy neighbours. But yes, Kyril Aziz, very much the quick man in quali, but then behind, practice, but then behind that, everyone else pretty much battling within a 1.5 second window, and that's going to make things very interesting indeed, because the Interlagos circuit, there's plenty of ways to get things wrong. There's not necessarily much time to gain if you get things right. We're just watching TTFR Motorsports' Reino Muru, who didn't race last round, back this time by for round 2 to partner, or the sister team of Tyrone Frith. Quite why they've not stuck themselves on the same team, I've no idea, unless Muru just really did not want to be associated. But in that case you should have picked some other letters to your team name. But Muru just coming out of the last corner now. Such an important corner to get right on the exit, and I've had many races where I've ran right the way out to the outside of that curve and it spits you off to the right if you get it wrong. Up over the hill, power and your gear ratios really taking big effect around here. We can cut the pit lane entry if you want to. Can gain you time, but you have to have a stable car to do it, and so many cars I've watched in the practice session outbrake themselves down to here. Does Muru do it? No. Nice and tight on the line in. Barry Ward doing the same just behind, bouncing over the curbs, and that will do him quite nicely coming out. First sector ends just at the end of the straight and into turn 4, and that's looking quite nice indeed for him. About half the field actually out. Oh, Barry Ward onto the grass in the background there, doing a little bit of off-road action, so that won't work. And Muru's kicking out a little bit wide there. You can get away with it out on the exit 4, but into the tight and twistier sections. I love the flow of the circuit. Someone else is obviously loving the flow. That's a big black line of tyre marks going through. There's someone on their outlets. That's not working at all. Into, I think that's Magulo. It's been a while since I've had to call out these names. I just know it by the flow. But very, very, very twisty and turny into Pico de Pato now. And again, locking up of brakes there by Muru, but he's got it stopped. Plenty of time. Hard on the exit round Juncao. Onto the final turn itself. And, well, aside from pushing out a bit wide in turn 4, this isn't looking too bad for Muru, who's up towards the very front of the field, kicking right the way out. Get off that curb. And then you either run round the outside of the corner to try and get as much speed as possible, but you're going a longer distance, or you try and shortcut it, and that's what Muru has tried to do. What will he do on the pit lane exit? Oh, he's eating right into that, taking as much advantage as possible. Over the line he goes to get provisional pole. 1:45.184. I predict people will go a lot faster than that, I'm afraid. Muru, it was tidy, but it wasn't the best, as Abbas has got a 1:45.2, as Barry Ward has got no front bumper. He's going into the pits if he can make it. Only just there, Barry for PPR. Not a great start to the season. Cameron Brewster, P4, just coming around the last couple of corners now for Six Axis Racing. He was about 4th or 5th earlier on in a practice session, dropped down to about 9 by the end of it. What can he do? 1:45.4, so again, people running a little bit slower. Paul Joseph of a 1:46.1 as well. That will not be going too hard. Who else have we got going on? Hans-Peter Mead for Online Motorsport, P7. Just coming out of Young Cow now. He was the top Lexus in the practice session for most of the way. And he's 3 temps up at the moment as here's that Dave Robertson goes 5th for Team Core. So 3 temps up for Hans-Peter Mead. They showed great promise. And the Lexus very much the not abnormal species in GRC, but the minority. Gone right to the inside to try and get as much as possible. 1:44.560, 6 temps quicker than everyone else so far. Good job there by Hans-Peter Mead. That will do. That'll do, laddie, that'll do. A couple of people then I think have been in problems. The only person that's out on track at the moment is Paul Gardner in P20 in the other Lexus as an independent. Barry Ward did not complete his lap. Neither did returnee Mike Wrightson. He's not completed his either for English Racing Nights. Oh, I spy Martin Palm in P13 has started his lap actually. For Torrent Motorsport Simmons Skins running right the way out to the outside. That's what lost it for Barry Ward, I'm afraid. If not, Barry Ward closed it or clipping the inside barrier out of 2 and then down the end of the straight. 12 thousandths up. Doesn't matter how many thousandths you're up by as long as you're up. No, I was about to say that myself, Mr. Cameraman. That is indeed what she said, or he said, or whatever animal said, depending on your preference, as they come speeding round the double right-hander. Seen quite a few people enter or come out of that one sideways. Never the best way to get round a corner, no matter how dramatic it looks. As Paul Gardner goes in P9, just behind Ben Walters, making his debut for the 6th Axis Racing Dice team. Palm, as ever, gingerly does it. I dubbed him the ladies racer. And he's 5 attempts up by the end of that, and that's why he's got smooth hands. He knows exactly where to place him on the curves of this racing track. And curves of anyone else he prefers to put it on. As he pops up over the hill. Inside of the line, will he stick to the inside? It's what I try to do. No. He doesn't need to. Half a second up. 1:44.057, and I think that will be a very tough time to beat. As Spoljaric. Ooh, a little bit slidey out on the exit. That won't help because he's going to lose speed all the way up the top of that hill. And he is currently our championship leader by 1 point, despite only winning one of the 2 runs. Ilja Bracalo is not here today. There's some big national day going on in his home country of Croatia. Don't know why, they must have had their food delivery in. So they'll be off for a little bit, as this is prime for Borna Spoljaric to try and capitalise as much as possible, and he's capitalising on all the curbs. Currently at the moment looking a little bit rough and ragged. That is generally Borna's way, and against the suave sophistication of Martin Palm, sometimes angry elbows will do, but not so far for Borna. 2 attempts down, and once again locking up into T4. He has got a whole lot of mousse carrying around in his truck though. He's got 35 kilograms of weight against Martin Palm's 29. Those 2 the fattest out on track. Reinu Muru has got 20. Reinu Muru has got 14. Sorry, I didn't realise he was there last round. Kyril Aziz 5 and Hans-Peter Mead 3. So those are the fat ones today. Those are the ones that if he was going to be stuck in a desert, you'd want to pop on a spit roast, because they will actually keep you surviving. As Lee McLaughlin pops into 7th for Classic is racing dice as the last collection of cars start to come home. What's Spoljaric going to do? She pops out of Young Cow. Oh, a little bit wobbly on the exit. And to tempt down, this is all going to be down to how he deals out the final corner, and that's again a bit ragged. And I think that is game, set, match to Palm in regards to his teammate there. There's a few other people that could still potentially do something. James Kirk pops in 6th at the moment, but Spoljaric comes across the line. He gets to the inside. That may help. Yep, 3 attempts down. So that little slide on the exit of the last corner costing him 3 tenths of a second. That won't help at all. Kyril Aziz for Torrent Motorsport Mobile coming across the line. What can he do? Ooh, second. He splits them. 2 tenths down. That will do nicely. As we enter the last little bit of qualifying, we've got Ryan Walker in 19th coming across the line for the Union Motorsport Lexi. Good to see Union back on the game. And what can the old faithful Scott do? P12, 3.2 down, not too bad, but I think he'll be looking for a bit more, and that just leaves our dear old Tyrone for TTF Racing, because Reino Room has buggered his lap for Team Estonia. So a few people rocking it out in qualifying to the wrong degree. As Tyrone 4.4 seconds down. Nearly spinning on the exit. I think he's got some setup issues going on there. Or he's just having a very bad day. But he's still going to be on target to beat Paul Gardner. And of course, by just virtue of completing a lap, will leapfrog Barry Jones. Barry Jones? I'm mating people. Mike Wrightson and Reino Room. So that won't, not too bad. 6 seconds off the post there for Tyrone. It's all a learning curve, and it starts at turn 1. So, Martin Palm then grabs pole position from Torrent Motorsport Simmons Skins, ahead of Kyril Aziz and Bonus Spoljaric, with Hans-Peter Mead top Lexi. Ahead of Raina Muru, Ehab Abbas, Cameron Brewster, James Kirk, Paul Joseph and debutant Lee McLaughlin rounding out the top 10. For the starting grid of race 1 of 3 as ever. We've got a little trio going on. And who would say no to a freeway as they get themselves ready? Of course, round 1 is the starting grid that we've got. Then round 2 will be the we'll have the starting grid of how they finish in race 1. We have the magic finger of fear with the random number generator. Mark Valger lost connection just before qualifying, and he will be making his debut. Younger brother of Preet Valger. So yeah, Britstick is how I carefully call him, and that's probably because he's glued to the barrier at turn 1. So just while we're doing a little countdown, everyone gets themselves set up. Let's have a look at the thing that Simon Malush and myself, along with Oscar Hardwick and maybe a couple of others too, will be involved with next weekend coming up. And it's the 24 hours of virtual Le Mans. Oh yes. 24 hours. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Because we love it. That is why. So yes, come and join myself, Oscar, Simon and everyone else that's come along for the ride. There'll be a German stream for if you like yourself a little bit of discipline. And there'll be an English stream for those of you who like to have a beer. Yes. There's no 40 lashings in the English stream. Unless it's lashings of beer. Or rashers of bacon. I prefer 40 rashers of bacon. That will do. Kamikaze in the chat room saying, I think the Croatian national holiday you're talking about is the UEFA Euro 2012 match between Croatia and Spain going on right now. I'm so glad I can't give a rat's arse about football. Why would I be interested in a sport which involves me having to physically move when I can sit and drive a car around a track whilst not getting off my couch? Like that day when I had a wet t-shirt contest and won against a bag of spuds. It took me years to grow these man boobs. Not deflating them now. And of course, with things separated out into divisions, Cameron Brewster effectively pole position for Division 2, so well done. And of course, the stand-ins for the Division 1 driver stand-ins, Borna Svoliak leads by a point ahead of Ilja Bracalo. Martin Palm is third, and the gap back to Henry Vierok, who's MIA today. Rainer Muru, Kyril Aziz, only with 38 points despite all that pace. Hans-Peter Mead, Andreas Stankiewicz, Marco Wenzel, who's not here today. Vihab Abbas and Oscar Hardwick, equal on 28 points. The Division 2 stand-ins, Paul Joseph currently leads that ahead of James Kirk. Dave Robertson, Cameron Brewster, who's fourth overall with that, but just 8 points separate those four drivers, with Tyrone Frith, Stuart Fleming, James Ross, who's not here today, he's stuck somewhere else, and Norman Bruce has not returned, despite putting in some qualification laps, and there'll be no Brucey bonuses for him, currently sitting on 5 points. No, he won't be coming on down. Kamikaze says, we could go on with that all day, couldn't we? Kamikaze saying, that's for you not liking football. I guess you don't get a kick out of it, do you? No, I can think of better things to do where balls are flying at my face. That's another story for another day. Preferably on the 24 hours of Le Mans, when I've had a few to drink and the sponsors aren't listening. No takeaway bingo. Note to self. I'll have a Foster's, thanks, says Ryan Walker. Where's your Scottish pride? In fact, what is a Scottish beer? Is it a Scottish ale? Or is it just haggis juice? It's like, isn't there? There's something. I think isn't it an Asda own flavoured? No, not an Asda flavoured thing. Surely that would be lime. But wasn't there some conspiracy that actually there was a cheese that says that it's made on a certain farm, and apparently that farm doesn't even exist? That's going to annoy me now. Never mind. What have I been up to so far? Oh, no time. We're off to a race. We'll do that in between races 2 and 3. Apologies for my confusion. I'm being harassed in ways that I don't like to mention. Ah, that's why. Because I've left MSN open. Leave me alone. I don't want to do that there. So, we're not leaving, we're leading you round on the formation lap. Martin Palm on pole position then for Torrent Motorsport Simmons Gins. Alongside him will be the Torrent Motorsport Mobile of Kyril Aziz, everyone's favourite Malaysian. Getting in the mix. Borna Svoliak then third. Everyone's favourite angry elbow. Fourth, Hans-Peter Mead. Everyone's favourite fastest Lexi. Fifth, Rainer Muru. Does TTFR stand for Tatar for now? Oh no! It doesn't work, does it? Oh, Simon. Do you know what? I've not even had a beer. All I've had is grape juice, and what it's done is make me want to go to the loo. Sixth, Vihab Abbas, Union Motorsports Inc. And all row 4 for the 6th axis, Cameron Brewster, ahead of James Kirk. Paul Joseph is 9th for Union Motorsport International. Lee McLaughlin is 10th. Oh, we may have to have a quick restart here. Not sure. Anyway, carrying down the field just while that's all being sorted out. Dave Robertson is 11th for Team Core, ahead of Ryan Walker and Union Motorsports Inc. 12th. The second Team Core of Stuart Fleming 13th. Good inter-team battle between the Team Cores as ever. Ben Walters making his debut for the Sixth Axis Racing Dice in 14th position. As is Lee McLaughlin, so welcome. Tone 5th for TTF in 15th, with Paul Gardner making his debut for season 13 in 16th. He's our favourite independent with that slightly disturbed kitty. And in PPR, loving the pink, Baz Ward, welcome to season 13. 17, Mike Wrightson, 18th on the grid for Will Be English Racing Nights, once he gets himself a skin together, but he's just displaying our own little stuff there. Mark Valger making his debut for GRC in 19th position, that will do nicely. And 20th for Reino Room, who's just crept in at the back there with Team Estonia. And he's at work in his tyres. In fact, he's nearly worked into the back bumper of Mart there. That wouldn't have been the best welcome to the world, I must have said. And they are just getting back. It's always difficult at the very back of the grid because you're on a decline down. Oh, Dave Robertson has left the game. We're one down already. Drama before we've even got going here. But round 2 of GRC Season 13 here at Interlagos is off and away. And that looks like a stormy start for Spoljaric. He's gone to the outside. Palm's gone straight to the middle. One of the Team Cores off on the yellow bits. And it's Aziz straight into the lead there. Ahead of Palm. Spoljaric down to 3rd. Mead, Abbas, Brewster, Fleming up to 7th there for Team Core. I'd said he was getting off to a almighty start. But Aziz it is. Then Palm obviously realised that he was having a problem. And there's someone at the back that's gone around and round. And that's James Kirk. James Kirk is the man that spun, so obviously warp drive facing the wrong direction. He's down to second last. Someone else is in trouble too as they come plying down to turn 4. Oh, it's Aziz still leading though from Palm, Spoljaric, Mead, Abbas, Brewster, Fleming, Joseph, Walker, Walters, and that's Abbas getting round Stuart Fleming getting round Cameron Brewster for 6th and 7th position round the outside of turn 4. Great driving there by Stuart Fleming as Reino Room is up to 13th position and he's just got round Barry Ward. Reino Muru up to 11th, so some big movers and shakers straight off the bat as the field starts to settle themselves down into a run-of-the-mill trail. I am proper slurring it, and I've not even drunk anything. I do apologise, everyone. Oh dear, I just tyroned it. As Aziz, Palm and Spoljaric continue to battle away. They pulled a gap over Mead with Abbas, and Fleming is leading the next group of cars around as someone's locking up their brakes heavily. I think that was Barry Ward because he nearly ploughed into the back of McLaughlin. I think he caught himself out under braking, but Palm sizing up Aziz potentially, both going very deep into the pit area, and Palm going to the outside. Aziz has gone defensive. Palm not feeling brave enough to have a go around the outside at the end of lap 1, but Aziz there very wonky on the curbs, just about goes through. Brewster and Fleming side by side as well, and it's all go in the midfield because they're all entering 2 abreast into turn 1, so the CNRS providing as ever a plethora of overtaking. But here comes Palm having another look, but no, a little bit of a peekaboo, but nothing to do there as the field comes down. Cameron Brewster's got round Stuart Fleming, and Paul Joseph is having a go too for 5, 6 and 7, and Fleming gets pushed out because Joseph has got the inside line, and Fleming goes from 6th to 8th in just 2 corners, and that's a shame. And all is kicking off behind. That's Ben Walters in 11th position, and in 3 wide between Room, Ward and McLaughlin. McLaughlin pushes out of it. Ward sandwich in the middle. Poor old Pinky's getting the old perky on as Room there having a go at Ben Walters. So good introduction there to the 6th Axis Racing Dice team, who have suddenly found themselves slap bang in the middle of a right good old ding dong for the lower half of the field. But Ben Walters there dropping off the back of Reino Muru. Ooh, all kinds of stuff coming through as Walters goes in deep in order to keep the position, but it's going to leave him a little bit exposed on the exit. Reino Room having nowhere to go as they enter Junkao, and if anything now Barry Ward's the one with the momentum, but he's going to run out right. Ooh. As look at that. This isn't bang bang racing. I was playing that earlier on, but that's not going to work at all. Good little cutesy game actually, I'll come back to that later. Good battle for the lead, Palm having another look down into 1, but Spoljaric is trying to go down the outside of Palm. That's never going to work there. Cameron Brewster, Paul Joseph side by side for 6th and 7th position. Brewster holds that one. Oh, Fleming, where are you off to? In the background, and Walker, and it's all kicking off there for the battle for 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th, as it looked like McLaughlin went in very deep and caught Ward out, as Borna Spoljaric side by side with Martin Palm. He's going to dive through into turn 4 and take 2nd position away from Martin Palm. Palm will not be liking that. He's practically pushing the TMO car around as the teammates who have been pretty much inseparable for most of their GRC career continue to go on. Oh, all going off in the battle for 12th and 13th positions. Barry Ward and Walters, they were 3 wide as they were coming through, and these lot have already been, they've been Noah's arcing it all the way along. Look at Mark Voucher getting his little mitt sticky in. If he does a prick slick like his brother, then someone will be off. And look at Lee McLaughlin trying to dive through. That's going to leave him exposed on the curve. And Mike Wrightson welcomes himself into the battle. James Kirk's now rejoining back onto this, as well as basically Barry Ward. Now that he's up to the front of it and someone's off, who's that? It's James Kirk. And oh dear, someone get him a fly mow, because that would be more effective in mowing the grass. And it's taken him a while to get himself back the right way, but he's back the right way now, and that's allowed Gardner and Frith through. So Kirk rejoins 19th. Ben Walters in 13th position has just tapped Mark Valju, nearly goes into a spin, and that's going to allow Mike Wrightson to dive round the outside because he's got better momentum. Mike Wrightson then moves up into 14th position. He'll have that one, thank you very much. Reino Room has just got Reinu Muru, sorry, for 10th and 11th position. So Room now back up into the top 10. That is too many yards as Ryan Walker has a go at Stuart Fleming and goes through. Oh no, he doesn't. Back in between them is the battle for 15. Kicking off, Lee McLaughlin dives in. Oh no. Dearie me. And well, these two are new, and that is exactly what you get sometimes. It's all a little bit Andrex puppy excitement as Ryan Walker in 9th position has another look at Stuart Fleming. He's diving through and he's going to have 8th position. Second time lucky, but that is the grass, and Fleming does the undercut back through again, and the old switcheroo. Fleming has it. There is a great stuff that you can do this for around the Interlagos circuit, because I remember having about 25 lap battle with someone that was vastly quicker than me, but the only time that I could get them was down to the Senna S's room, finding some room to have a go. He's going to have a go at Fleming as well. Oh my goodness me, 2 at a time, baby, as they have a go. And poor old Ryan Walker slipping further down the order. The poor old Scot being absolutely bullied as Reina Muru trying to have another look. He's got his Division 1 stakes on the line. Unfortunately, they are on medium rare. They need to be well done if he's going to get himself up to some juicy positions, as the field slowly starting to spread themselves out. The top 3 all still very much close together as they cross the line to complete lap 4. And it's still Aziz by just 3 tenths. Spoljaric pulls out to have a look, but nothing doing there as Martin Palm does the fastest lap despite being 8 tenths off. Ooh, was Aziz very bumpy on the entry into 1. That won't help. Hans Peter Mead still ahead of Ehab Abbas. Cameron Brewster and Paul Joseph side by side again for 6th and 7th position. This time Brewster holds it. The Bowser has got it in. GRC's most experienced man, Paul Joseph, having a half look. That's not going to help. Stuart Fleming cuts across the grass in 9th and 10th position as Borna takes the lead. Is he? Oh, Aziz goes right the way to the outside, and he's going to hold it, hanging on around the outside like a washing machine, not a washing machine, a washing line, sorry, but well, it's like a It's not a man, he's a machine. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Malaysian style, coming round into the midsection. And well, he doesn't want to be back, he just wants to be out front, I'm afraid. As Palm then having a look at Spoljaric, these three well clear of the heavy braking Hans-Peter Mood and Ehab Abbas for 4 and 5. Those two watching brief for Spoljaric over the curb and onto the grass. That's not going to help his braking, but much tighter line than Aziz into Pico de Bato. Coming out round Yung Kao next and into the final turn. And well, the field has splintered off into several little mini battles. And this is certainly all the podium positions in one fell swoop. 6.3 seconds behind then is Mead and Abbas as these trio continue round. Now you can see the looming prospect of the TMO Sims and Skins. You can see the slipstream effect as they come across the line. Just quarter of a second between them. Spoljaric pulls out to have a look, but he's not feeling confident. But he's as well off! My goodness, he's in Argentina. Come back as he gets across the curbs, and Palm's going to have a go through. He's been slightly blocked off, but Palm's got much better traction out of the centre S. Round turn 3 and down the short straight to 4, and that will do nicely. What can Aziz do to try and hold anything back? I don't think he can, and that's it for Aziz for now. As Ehab Abbas has caught up onto Mead, and Peter Mead has lifted his lights. He's let Abbas go. Not quite sure what's going on there. I wonder if there's some kind of prior history involved. And there for 6, 7 and 8, Brewster and Joseph going again, and Reno room! There is no room there, or is he going to make some? As he pushes Joseph out wide, and my goodness, that was scare tactics involved there as Paul Joseph, slightly dripping, I think, from the anal cavity, goes down to 8th position as Room goes up to 7. Next up is the 6th Axis Racing of Cameron Brewster, who's doing a fantastic job in 6th, to be fair. P11, Barry Ward, is now up to 11, but not for much longer because Stuart Fleming has got his Scots brew going, and Yoinkaroo, that'll be 11th for him. Mike Wrightson in 12th. Oh, Barry Ward, what's that? The flamenco comeback as they come flying through. As poor old Mike Wrightson's car looking a wee bit worse for wear, but I think that's what he wanted. And this is going for the Mohawk look as Fleming and Ward once again. Ward trying to go around the outside, cutting through for the inside. Oh, that's the grass! Oh, what's Ken Block through Young Cow as he comes out the exit. Barry Ward, I tell you what, he doesn't always get results. Oh, what the Wrightson there off on the, that's going to ruin that for him. But Barry Ward doesn't often get all the results that he wants, as Aziz and Palm battling off for P2 and 3 at the moment. But Barry certainly does give us some entertaining action out on track, as Aziz, much better run off of 3, and I think he fancies a little old shindig down into turn 4. What's he going to do? Is Palm going to give him the room? No, Palm's going to force him onto the... Well, he didn't have to be forced onto the curb, but he's decided to do it all by himself. That was a bizarre piece of driving there by the Malays. Ian. And, well, I do prefer Malaysian Chowmay. Oh, his Hans-Peter Meads are back ahead of Ehab Abbas. Cameron Brewster's being overtaken by Paul Joseph for 7 and 8. And Joseph runs out wide and Brewster's back through. As the Union Motorsports of Walker and Joseph battle away, Rain and Umuru now back up to it, and that's Fleming and Ward side by side, and Ward's going to try and go around the outside for P11, and he does it! That is class there. Fantastic stuff by Ward. Holds on around the outside. Is Fleming going to have a go back through? Oh, Ward, come back! Jack. Oh, no! Fleming! Poor team core driver Mike Wrightson. Just breathing a sigh of relief, saying thank God that's one's over for the time being. Mark Voucher keeps a watching brief in 14 as they continue on. Lap 7 of 10 at the moment completing that we are on. And it is all thick action. Still all 19 drivers running. Ben Walters the last of them. Spoljaric has pulled away from Palm and Aziz. Abbas is now 4 ahead of Mead. Room, Brewster, Walker, Muru, Joseph. Then Barry Ward in 11 has got Mike Wrightson and Stuart Fleming right up on him, and got Mark Voucher actually having a good old go as well. But Paul Joseph under attack now by Rainu Muru for P9 and 10, and the TTFR Motorsport driver's going to have a go down into one, and Muru's got that one covered. Paul Joseph's got more experience to know that that's not going to be stopped, as Mike Wrightson has a go for P11 on Barry Ward. Wrightson being squeezed right to the edge. Ward hangs on round the outside. He's doing one of those, I shall just throw the car in and hope for the best, but it's keeping him going. But look at that, they're bunching up right behind. Fleming's going to have a go too. There's all kinds of smoke going on up ahead. That's Ryan Walker and Brewster why, as Ryan Walker goes round the outside of Cameron Brewster and takes the position as 3 wide down into turn 4 for Ward, Wrightson and Fleming. And Ward's going to keep it, just kicking on round the outside ahead. Oh no, he's not. Oh no, he's not. Oh yes, he is. What is this? Punch and Judy motorsport style. As they come out, Wrightson and Ward. Now Ward's done some moves around his corner before. He's going to hold on to the inside if he can. Wrightson's pushed to the outside. If he can do it, he can have a much better run for the inside for the next turn. If he's got it, and he has indeed, and Ward's gone wide into that corner too many times. He's trying to do the old switcheroo, but he's on the wrong side to go. And I think that poor old Fleming will have a go back at him down at Bico de Pato. If not, size him up at the exit of Yuncao for the next go. Ward, what is he? He's dog with bone is what I will call that. Always entertaining. Look at Mark Valger now suddenly getting back through. And do you know what? Oh no, actually I won't, because I'm aiming to not say that word on air, and I haven't so far, so I've done very well. As the trio continue up, the leaders have all closed back up again too, with 2 laps to go. As they come through. Oh, where is Paul Joseph going? Right the way around the outside. I don't know if Randu Muru's just had a bad exit, but Joseph has absolutely slaughtered him. And look at the battle for the lead. Martin Palm is right up behind Borna Spoljaric. Is he going to pull out and have a go? He's having a little look, but no. I think that was just a forlonged camera angle. Who's that changing position? It's Paul Joseph keeping Reino Muru at bay for 9th and 10th. They were swapping positions. Oh no, that's Mark Valger off in 14th down at turn 1. Having a go at Stuart Fleming did not work. Down to 14th behind Lee McLaughlin, who's still going on strong. And well, it is absolute action going on. And look at Martin Palm, he's going for the inside. Spoljaric busy lucking up the brakes. And he's going to go for the inside contact between the TMO Simmonskin drivers. Aziz is just waiting there thinking, please, please, please connect and let it all be over. Spoljaric's going for the old switcheroo back in the Bico de Pato. Palm's going to cling on around the outside. He's going to have the inside for Yuncao in the final turn. And if you can get that one right and just hold on to the straight, it might not be the best place to be, because then you're stuck in the slipstream of the 2. So Borna, I wouldn't have a go there. I'd wait until you get down to the centre S and then try and hold it. Aziz pushing Spoljaric out of the final turn, and this is going to be the start of the final lap when they cross the line. Now it's going to be the time when you need the prime position so that you can hold the line round these final turns if you can keep it, and therefore stop the slipstreamer blast past, because it doesn't matter if they blast past you into the centre S next time by, because they're already across the line. Palm goes to the inside. He knows how important this is. Spoljaric's going to try and go around the outside. Who is going to do it? Palm holds the inside line. He's a bit slidey on the exit. Spoljaric bumping him through, and Aziz is trying to have a go as well as the trio continue to battle away. Who's that swapping? Renault Maroon's just got round Hans Peter Mead for 5 and 6. They've just swapped back round her through again though, but it doesn't matter. They're not battling for the lead. Look at them, they're all pushing to the inside line, desperately trying to hold off as the slipstream continues on. Nearly 3 wide. Spoljaric going round the outside! Wow, what a fantastic move right away out onto the grass. As Palm, nothing he could do at all. And look at Aziz, that's off-road rallying round the outside. 2 wheels on the grass, he's going to try and have a half dive through, but there's nowhere that he can go. Palm is trying to get the inside line so that he can get through. Spoljaric going extra slow round the double right-hander to make sure that Palm cannot try and dive through on the inside into Megullo. Round the next corner we come. I always find this one is very hard to make sure that the car is stable, and then just keep to the inside maybe for Bico de Pato if he needs to do it. But ooh, yeah, Spoljaric light on the brakes, just about keeps it all together. Round Yuncao, 1 more corner to go. And so long as he gets it all okay, no, a little bit wonky on the exit. Palm very, very late in, and that's going to run him out wide, and I think Aziz may well have him. It's going to be an absolute drag race. Aziz has got down into the inside. Palm's going to be pushed to the outside. Spoljaric, by virtue of Martin Palm getting a little bit eager beaver on the brakes into the very last corner. 2 wheels on the grass there by Palm. Spoljaric has been saved as he comes across the line to win round 1 of GRC here at Interlagos. Classic action here by the guys. Aziz yoink second by just over a tenth of a second from Martin Palm third. Ehab Abbas is going to come home fourth. Tops Lexus for Union Motorsports Inc. Fifth for Renault Room, beating home hands Peter Mead into 6th position, and an absolute train of cars coming round for 7. Ryan Walker is just going to hold off Cameron Brewster. Paul Joseph grabs 9. Renault Muru grabs 10th. Mike Wrightson ends up coming out of that massive scrap for P11 in 11th, ahead of Stuart Fleming for Team Core. Lee McLaughlin grabs 13. Mark Voucher just about holds off Barry Ward, who ends up 15th. That didn't go to plan for him at the very end. Tyrone Frith grabs 16th position ahead of James Kirk, who spun at the very beginning, down in 17th position. Paul Gardner's got his lights on in P18, but I don't recommend letting someone through now. Come across the line. Good man for his own independent. Ben Walters finishes his debut in P19, and Paul Gardner must be happy with that. And my goodness me, that is how we do it at GRC. Well, if anyone wants to have any of those top 3 men's bollocks for earrings, I swear they're going to be like Pat Butcher's, because they were humongous. Fantastic drive into the lot of you. Classic action for GRC. I believe Ryan Walker will have been our Division 2 winner, with Cameron Brewster and Paul Joseph. Oh no, Ryan Walker's been promoted to Division 1, so Cameron Brewster did win Division 2. Ahead of Mr. Joseph, who despite being the world's most experienced GRC man is still Division 2. And how they finished is how they're going to start. Kamikaze was loving that in the chat room. And we were loving it in the comms box. In fact, I've not seen cameraman Simon Mellowish sweat like that until I told him that actually he might have to run the marathon. So, absolutely epic action there for round 1. One of the many reasons why I love this circuit. But yes, if you've got the straight line speed set up right and your gearing set up right, you can hold people off down into the centre S by going around the outside and keeping the position off, or you can do the tuck back under down at turn 4. And I remember a few races for myself in different formulas. Not necessarily being a very fast driver at all, which I think everyone knows now, but shh, just in case. I think, yeah, you can get away with being able to keep guys behind you doing that. And apart from just a little spin at the very beginning there, everyone mighty clean. There's a few little bangs. But then, this is touring cars, so I suppose we can get away with that. And that'll do nicely. So what have I been up to in the last week? I have been playing actually a couple of racing games that have been quite interesting. One, which I referred to in the race, is called Bang Bang Racing. A good hark back to the old Micro Machine days, with cute little racers, but there's no weapons or anything involved, which is great, because then you save that last minute frustration of when someone missiles you Mario Kart-esque before you cross the line and you get that. So yeah, good. I give that a thumbs up. particularly if you see it a little bit cheaper than what it has been on release price, because there's not tons of trucks. Also bought Need for Speed The Run. I'm enjoying it, but I can see why it got a kicking, because I've only played it for about an hour and a half and I'm already on stage 8 of 10. So, not got the best longevity, that one. Also got Ridge Racer Unbounded. And I haven't really spent much time with that, because of the 3 so far, it's been the one that interested me the least. Yet when I saw it, that you could smash things up a bit like Split Second, I thought it'd be awesome. And then I tried driving the thing and I just couldn't get the grips with it, so I turned it off. I went for something else instead. I've got a week off of work. It's lovely. It's lovely. Ah. So, quick browse through the old chatteroo. James Kirk moaning about who pushed him into turn 2. I believe that's been resolved. Cameron Brewster saying that he's hitting the speed limiter. That's good information for everyone else to know if they need to slipstream him. Everyone else pretty much just saying epic, and we echo that. So, as ever, round 2 will be starting in the order that they finished. Everyone just getting themselves nice and sorted. Adjusting any setup tweaks that they may need, that they've realised from round 1. Sometimes you need that, because even though things say that they're the same in the game, sometimes in your head it doesn't quite work that way, and things still feel different.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
It's something that you can do in this league in between rounds. There's little mini tweaks. Something you can't do in a virtual Le Mans for 24 hours, which is something that we'll be experiencing this Saturday and Sunday, and I hope you come and join us here on simrace.tv as we get ready for the formation lap. That could be my best Ryan Walker impression to date. With Bona Spogliaric, as he's politely phonetically spelt for his Twitter name. on the front row ahead of Kyril Aziz. Third is Martin Palm. Let's say Matthew Palm then. Don't know why. Here you have a Bass, 4th for Union Motorsport. Our top non-TMO driver. Room, Team Estonia in 5th. 6th for Hans-Peter Mead. Who didn't say done a fantastic job in round 1, but he did. Ryan Walker 7, Union Motorsport, not bad for a Scotsman. Number 8, Cameron Brewster, not bad for a D2 driver. Paul Joseph, 9th, Union Motorsports, not bad for the most experienced GRC driver. Raymond Muru 10th. Not bad for a mini rando. 11th, Mike Wrightson for I'm assuming he'll be an English Racing Knights driver once he's got his skin sorted. 12th. Oh, unless he is an independent, we'll soon find out. Stuart Fleming, 12th in the top team core. 13th for Lee McLaughlin. And got his kit and caboodle sorted along with Mark Valger as they make their first evening of GRC entertainment history. Bazza Ward doesn't even bother putting Barry in anymore, he knows his Bazza. PPR. Tyrone Frith. In fact, try and get Paul Huggett back, Barry. TTF's Tyrone Frith, 16. James Kirk, 17th. Paul Gardner, 18th. But there's a little black spot on the sun today. Don't quite know what that's supposed to mean. STD? Okay. Ben Walters, 19th. Noticed that he finished last in the end, despite running quite well earlier on in the race. And Dave Robertson has been able to rejoin after being cruelly disconnected on the grid for round 1. He'll be back for points, and points is something that everyone will be able to get if they finish, because their points go down to 20th position. And the field, much more than before, really lighting up their tyres as they come around to the grid. Obviously people feeling that actually turn 1 they was a little bit either cautious or they didn't feel that the grip was there beforehand, I'm not sure, but people very much having to light up their tyres. Cameraman pointing out to me actually that the front couple of rows have got a slightly uphill incline on the start, so they will need the extra grip to try and floor it down. The car's now all in place. Here come the lights. Round 2. We're off and away. And that looks like a Bass pulling right out to have a go straight away, and is being swamped one way or the other. Aziz well clear once again of Spoljaric. Look at a Bass, he's going to try and take second position from Spoljaric. Indeed he does. There's contact between the two. Palm slots in 4 ahead of Mead. Muru, is everyone getting through? Things looking a little bit tight further back, but no. Oh, once again there. It looks as though Robertson and Kirk there were collecting each other, but they've all got round now. Frith drops down to last as Aziz leads the way from a Bass. Spoljaric having a look at Ehab as they come down to 4, but he's not going for it there. Then Palm and a gap back to Mead, Muru, Joseph, Room, Brewster, Walker. Ward goes up into 11th position. Brewster losing 2 positions there, and oh, Lee McLaughlin runs out wide and just about cuts in ahead of Mike Wrightson and Mark Valger. And Barry Ward swerving all over the place like a madman possessed. Someone would say he's actually in a bobsleigh as opposed to a car. As Borna Spoljaric has a go. There you have a Bass at the top of the incline. There's a couple of other changes. Oh, it's Barry Ward that's gone off actually, and he's now rejoined back in the midfield, so that's not worked out for him. A Bass once again feeling like he's going in a little bit wide around Beaker to Bateau, and that's going to allow Spoljaric a good clean exit, but as a Bass covered him off, yes he has round Junkao, but I think he's going to be a little bit of a sitting duck by the time they get to the end of the straight. Spoljaric wisely not having a go down at the end corner there, because you lose straight line speed all the way up the hill, and Martin Palm is sitting quite nicely. This is all allowing Kyril Aziz to pull out a 1.5 second advantage, if not slightly more by the time they get across the line. Let's see what they've done as Stuart Fleming nicks 11th position from Barry Ward just off your screens. Across the line then, Aziz. It's only 7/10 advantage there from Ehab Abbas. Spoljaric having a go. Aziz runs out wide, he's giving Spoljaric the room. Oh, round goes Hans-Peter Mead. He's caught the inside curb, but through goes Muru, through goes Room. Mead rejoins in 7th position. Can he keep ahead of Paul Joseph? Yes, he can. If anything, actually, Joseph there backs off and is now prey for Ryan Walker. He can just about fix it as they come down. My best Neil Morrissey impression as Spoljaric has a go at Abbas, but Muru and overtaken by Room round the outside there. Mead is off again. What is going on? So not helping at all there. So oh, Spoljaric and Palm through past Abbas. Abbas from 2nd to 4th in one fell swoop. He's having a go back through on Palm again. He stuck his nose in slightly, but they've all just about got round and through. Abbas, they're caught wrong-footed. I wonder if Spoljaric just kind of stuck it in and Abbas scared off the racing line, and Palm took opportunistic action as Barry Ward is out So Barry Ward, was that a spin? No, it just looked like a DNF for me. So Aziz now, he's got Spoljaric and Palm right up with him. Abbas 4, Room, Muru, Mead, Walker, Joseph, Brewster. Then Wrightson, McLaughlin, Valger, Fleming and Kirk. Ben Walters, Dave Robertson, Paul Gardner and Tyrone Frith. So yeah, Rainer Muru running a little bit slowly. I'm thinking that he may have a problem with his brakes as Martin Palm has a look at Spoljaric, but he's certainly losing out. Yeah, he's braking very, very early for the corner. It's not really working. Hands beating Mead. They're being able to do him just down the straight itself. Muru, it looks as if maybe he's got a bit of a sticky brake paddle or something, because he's not running at full pelt. Indeed, he's going to be a little bit of a sitting duck for everyone as they come through. Martin Palm having another look at Spoljaric, but nothing doing down into turn 4. Where Spoljaric very late on the brakes, not really helping his cause. And here comes, Abbas off wide, and is Reino Room going to have a go? Doesn't need to, he's through already. Abbas not going to stick one up the inside as Ryan Walker now goes round Reino Muru for 7th and 8th positions. Muru definitely a walking wounded in a TTFR Motorsport car, but he's still keeping up decent pace and compared to some of the other drivers, so he's still worth going round to collect some juicy points for the championship battle. You've got to think long term when there's 8 rounds, each with 3 ones apiece. So we shall soon find out with that as they come springing round. Joseph next up on his list, but he seems to be keeping hold of position there, so we'll watch that with intrigue as the field a little bit more spread out compared to what they were last race. Just as well, it lets me catch my breath for a split second and I don't end up like a sweaty moose. Across the line they go to complete lap 3 then. Kyril Aziz leading the way, but he's not pulling away. The gap now just under 0.6 of a second from Borna Spoljaric. Martin Palm gets fastest lap so far as he sits in 3rd position ahead of Reino Room. Abbas is in 5th, Hans-Peter Mead 6th, Ryan Walker 7th. That's Muru trying to hold off Paul Joseph, and Joseph having a go, and that's actually left him wrong-footed, and that's going to allow Cameron Brewster to have a go potentially, but Brewster running off a little bit wide around the exit, or the entry, sorry, of 3. That's really left him off back. I don't think he's got enough. No, he's not. He's going to pull back in again. Mike Wrightson keeps a watching brief with Mark Valger. James Kirk has got round. Stuart Fleming 13th and 14th position. It's a change of position ahead. Oh, what's going on there? What? It was a little conga, just offline time. Frith offline 19th as well. So the field once again fracturing out into several little pockets of drivers. No one really having a good old mash-up yet. But the top 3 are now pulled away from Reino Room. I think they'll be back to their old ways again. It looks as though Reino Muru though is really holding up now. Paul Joseph, Cameron Brewster, Mike Wrightson, Mark Valger's about to join onto the back of that too, so not quite sure what's going on with Reino Muru. We'll have to get to the bottom of that at some point. We think it may be a sticky brake paddle. Oh, he's run right off rides there. That's not the racing line at all. Paul Joseph then flies through, but you can see his brake lights there coming on when he should be accelerating, so something's not right. As Cameron Brewster then goes through, so Joseph up to 8, Brewster up to 9. Brewster may feel like having a go at Paul Joseph as they cross the line. Yep, he's pulling out. What can he do? Not a lot. Joseph's got that one well covered. Muru stays in 10. Mike Wrightson's the next one to have a go. P11. Oh, where is Stuart Fleming going? P14. He's got back onto the track, but Lee McLaughlin's going to have a go round the outside, and he's got him. Stuart Fleming went in so deep into turn 1, and it's something we've seen people do all the way through practice and all the way now into the race as well. What can Stuart Fleming do to have a go back through? There's Cameron Brewster. Not sure. Stuart Fleming having a go. P15. Oh, dearie me. Oh, Muru! Oh my goodness me, Muru into the barriers And well, if there wasn't something wrong with his car beforehand, there certainly is now. Bye bye bumper. And well, 3 into 1, never going to work, even if you're in some saucy freeway action. And well, one's always left holding the dummy. And he's limping round. Valja having a go, but not really anything sticking there. But Joseph Brewster and Wrightson continue their way on 8th, 9th and 10th positions. The leading trio still very much as you were, Spoljaric, Palm and Aziz. If anything, Aziz struggling to keep with the leading duo. But yeah, Aziz struggling to keep with that duo since Spoljaric and Palm got ahead. And he's falling back now, a second behind Spoljaric. Palm keeping very much with Spoljaric as the Simmons Skins drivers lead the way. Didn't see what happened there with Aziz, but he's certainly not there now. If anything, Palm looking like he's going to have another go. But he does not as they come down. Oh, but what's that battle going on? Stuart Fleming once again losing it into turn 1, and Lee McLaughlin takes 13th position. Still a good scrap for A9 and 10 between Joseph Brewster and Wrightson. That's all good to go. Valja's got James Kirk now up behind him for 11th and 12th. Ben Walters still in 15th ahead of Dave Robertson. Reino Muru now in 17th. That car looking so second hand I wouldn't even buy it out of Oxfam. And then you've got Tyrone Frith and Paul Gardner rounding off the field. 19 of your 20 still running. And this leading trio continue on their way. Up over the hill, and if anything actually now Aziz looks like he's the one who's on the offensive as opposed to the defensive. Obviously wants his P1 back. He doesn't get out of bed at 4 or 3 in the morning for nothing. He wants wins. Oh, he's going to want barrier if he carries on like that, pushing into the side of Palm. He was nearly forced off the road altogether and now rally crossing over the curbs. Never going to work. As who's that changing position? It's Cameron Brewster once again P8 and Paul Joseph P9. Brewster's through on Paul Joseph. And that's all going off, as is James Kirk and Mark Valja. And Kirk goes round the outside there of Valja, who's trying to hold on. The outside of the start of the centre S ends up the inside for the next corner, but he just did not have the momentum to hold it. James Kirk up into P10 then. That will do nicely indeed. As where has Mike Wrightson gone? Oh, he's DNF'd. Mike Wrightson's out. What happened there? He just disconnected there, Mike Wrightson, so unfortunate there for him. Reino Muru's in the pits in P19, so he's obviously in for repairs. Still worthwhile circulating and getting some points. Martin Palm on the grass in P2. That's not going to help things. And look at this lead trio. They're back on it again. So exciting. My mouth is so full of saliva. So, yep. Just getting word that Mike Wrightson must have had a computer crash because the car just veered off into the wall for no reason. And nothing after. So that was that, but Spoljaric, Palm and Aziz, closest as they've been for a while, is Martin Palm, following in the footsteps. And well, if he's not going to have a go down to turn 1 now, he never will. Pulls out, what can he do side by side? Are the Simmons Skins, but Spoljaric has the last of the late braking going on. Palm tucks back in again. He knows he can have another go down into turn 4, but he's not had the best exits. Spoljaric's got a much better exit round 3. It's surprising where he can find all of this just little extra grip and his little nuances that manages to give him the extra few hundredths here and there. That is indeed why he's double champion, as my cameraman extraordinaire suggests. And even when he's running out 2 wheels on the grass, he can still keep it going. Just call me the little green-eyed monster. No, not that one. Ooh, Mark Valger in 10th position, diving through on James Kirk. He's got him. Valger by name, Valger by nature. Not crashed into anyone yet, so he's obviously doing a lot better than Prittstick. There's James Kirk, slips down again, another gear. Got to be careful because Lee McLaughlin, Stuart Fleming and Ben Walters. In fact, Ben Walters has got Dave Robertson over the back of him. Who's that changing position? Oh, it's Cameron. Someone changed? Ah, it's James Kirk back ahead of Valger. That's why. As the battle for 10th and 11th continues to fly. Sparks everywhere. And the leaders are slightly more separated as they come across the line to complete lap 8 of 10, so I don't think there'll be anything going on between them this time round. Let's see who's worthwhile keeping an beady little eye on. If anything, it's going to be the battle for P14 and I was going to say P14 and 15, and then Dave Robertson nearly going off onto the grass there on the exit as Rainer Murray retires from the race. Leaves us with just the 17 as the field starts to stretch out. And no one's really close at the moment except Martin Palm back onto the back of Spoljaric with 2 to go. It's become just as much a high-speed virtual game of chess, I think, as opposed to anything else, trying to put your piece in the right place. Says Simon with a slight smirk on his chin. Oh! And Borna, that's not the right place to put your piece, and Martin Palm's going to have his piece as he dives through. Can he hold it off? He's run Spoljaric right the way to the edge of the track. He's going to try and cut him off. Rude, rude, rude. But it's nothing that Borna wouldn't give back. And Palm drives through into the lead there. The ladies love Mr. Palm. And my goodness me, he's certainly showing what kind of class he's got today. Spoljaric won't be having none of that. The double world champion will be eager beaver to have a go, and he's put himself in the perfect place to have a go, right up onto the back of Martin Palmer as they come out of the final corner. Up over the hill, this is where the slipstream starts to kick in. You start to feel yourself being vacuumed up onto the back bumper of the car in front. And then sometimes when you get to here, you're so close to the back you're not quite sure what to do because you've still got a corner to go and you have to push right the way out. Borna's chosen the outside line to try and get the inside for the second part of the Senna S. Palm is going to push him as far as he can, but he doesn't need to. Spoljaric folds back inside. He knew he wasn't going to get the position. Palm eagerly defends. He wants his first win of the season 13 championship, but Spoljaric has a few little aces up his sleeve yet, and I think the next one will be turn 4. Indeed it is, as he pulls out to have a look. What can Palm do? Can you try and run out wide round the outside? Yes, he's going to try and do it, clinging on for dear life. There's contact on the rear end of Martin Palm. Palm's going to cling on round the outside. Side by side they go out of 4. Now into Megulo. This is going to be where Palm needs to keep the foot in. Spoljaric needs to try and drive around the outside, side by the two of them. Spoljaric clings on. Palm needs to cut the inside line for the next side, but he's not going to do a dive. No, he's not. Palm just about keeps it together. He's got the inside line for the following corner. Kyril Aziz keeping a watching brief, but I don't think there's much he can do about it. Palm keep the inside line for Biko D'Apato because Spoljaric's going to lunge one in. He's got it just about. As they come round Yung Kao, keep the inside line, and if Palm can just make sure that he gets a nifty exit out of this, he is about 80% of the way for doing it. But Spoljaric so close as he's winging every last little bit, and I think Palm is going to have to be very careful as they come out of the final turn to see exactly who is going to get this. And look at Borna, he's going left, he's going right. Can he get the slipstream action out? Palm's going to have to run him right out. He's going to be side by side, he's going to get it, he's going to be dead. 46 thousandths of a second. Martin Palm wins round 2 by 46 thousandths of a second from Borna Spoljaric. Kyril Aziz ends up 777 behind in third. That was a slow bunny boiler, but my goodness, that was tighter than... tighter than, well, a virgin, to be fair. Tighter than a Marusha. Minor room 4. We have a Bass 5. Hans-Peter Mead again, 6th position. Ryan Walker grabs another 7. Cameron Brewster another 8. Paul Joseph 9th. Then another, oh my goodness, 4/10 of a second covering Mark Voucher 10, James Kirk 11 and Lee McLaughlin 12. That must have been an epic across the line moment. 3/10 between Stuart Fleming and Dave Robertson in a team court battle. Those two ever inseparable. Ben Walters 15th position, he'll have that. Tyrone Frith has finished 16th, 48 seconds off the pace. Paul Gardner is just coming across the line now, 1 minute and say 5 seconds off the pace, 4 seconds off the pace. 3 retirements, Reno Muru, Mike Wrightson and Barry Ward, on laps 7, 6 and 1 respectively. Wow. Can you smell what the Spoljaric is cooking? Spoljaric. I was just trying a new way of saying your name there, sorry. Ah, it does. Would you like some Spoljaric with your pasta? Your muesli? And I think we're just investigating. We think that that is the closest finish we've ever had at GRC, 46 thousandths of a second. Martin Palm pops in there, needs shower. Bruce and me too. Rain of room, why doesn't my car start well? Press the pedal. Aziz, I'm sleepy. Feeling very sleepy watching those cars go past you. So everyone commending themselves there. Ah, wow. Martin Palm, Cameron, you don't have a sister called Catherine, do you? Didn't think it was worthwhile bringing up anything on Terminator 3. So, one final round left to go. I'm just swigging a bit of water because that was so exciting it's left my throat a little bit dry and my mouth a little bit wet. Work that one out. That's probably why I've been stuttering over my words. Don't get this action in a 24-hour. But you do get something a little bit back-breaking. And it's great to see, actually, Anthony Davidson has already tweeted that he's taken his first steps. Which is absolutely amazing, considering the circumstances he's in. And we wish him a speedy recovery. And looks like we've just had the magic number. Bum, bum, bum. In fact, that magic number needs a little bit of a musical introduction. It's P9. Dear God. Cameron Brewster screams, "Mummy!" Remember to load your setups, Yoel, says Martin Palm. Good words of wisdom, must be said. And don't forget, after today, we've still got several other events still left to go, so if you do fancy joining in the action... What is wrong with my mouth today? You can... Don't answer, Mr. Cameraman. Rhetorical question. There's been nothing in my mouth. Oh, need to do that. They do when you they teach you singing stuff. Elocution lessons. After today, we're back next Monday on the 25th to go round Autodrom Most, Czech Republic. Then we've got the big endurance race on the 2nd of July. Bahrain. Silverstone on the 16th of July, after a 2-week break, starting the second half. The Norris Ring, yay! On the 23rd of July, the 30th of July for Autopolis. Hallelujah! And then final round at Manfield on the 6th of August. So if you fancy signing yourself up, make sure you go off to rfgrc.co.uk. Get yourself going. That's why Oscar Hardwick is not about. I have over 2,000 ping on TeamSpeak. Couldn't connect to server. Hate Virgin Media. I feel your pain, Oscar. I feel your pain. So the grid just sorting itself out. We'll be racing for the third and final time here at the Interlagos circuit for what has been an absolutely immense evening of entertainment. My vocal dribblings aside, I do promise to be back to normal for next time. The weights are just being added, just to recap that. 35 kilos for Borna, 29 for Martin. Reno's got 20, Bruno has 14, Royal 5, Hans Peter Mead 3. Everyone else has got their skinny cow on. We've been drinking enough. Diet 0. -1s. And wow, what a collection this is at the front. Paul Joseph leads us round on the formation lap then for Union Motorsport International. Second on the grid, Cameron Brewster for the 6th Axis Racing. Third, Ryan Walker in the other Union Motorsport Inc. car. Hans Peter Mead for onlinemotorsport.com in 4th. Ehab Abbas 5th for Union Motorsport Inc. And those last three all Lexuses, and that's a Lexus on pole as well. I think that may be the second, if not first time we've had that. Rona Rum, Team Estonia 6. Kyril Aziz 7 for Trump Motorsport Mobile. I'll be interested to see how these trio get themselves back up to the front again. This is the beauty of round 3. Because some drivers can lead from the front and battle away at the front quite happily. Some drivers really struggle to get there though. This is the beauty of the third round. Borna Spoljaric 8th, ahead of teammate Martin Palm 9. If you're going to choose to swap around in a 1-2, you might as well swap round in round 2 and make sure you finish second in that one and win the first round. Mark Valger in 10th position, James Kirk 11, Lee McLaughlin 12. Stuart Fleming 13th for Team Core, ahead of teammate Dave Robertson. Those two battling away as ever. 6th Axis Racing Dice for Ben Walters in 15th. Tyrone Frith 16 for TTF. 17th Paul Gardner, our independent. Raina Muru 18th. Mike Wrightson rejoins in 19th position. I think that confirms that that was a PC problem, or at least an internet printer. Apparently his R Factor did crash. And In case you're wondering why we're all so gleamingly beautiful today, we're on HD. And we've been guinea pigs. It's like a world first for simrace.tv. I hope you'd all noticed. Otherwise, blunts may grab a man bag and stomp about a little bit. Martin Palm just getting himself very late into position. Same with Reino Muru there, coming into his position very late indeed as well. So not quite sure. Martin Palm not facing a little bit the wrong way, aiming for the barrier, not good. The cars are in place, we're off and away for the final round. Joseph away not too badly, as is Brewster. Hans-Peter Mead, the quickest one of the lot though, as they come steaming down into turn one, and that looks like he have Kyril Aziz up to 4th position, but he's just being barreled back down the field again into 6th for the time being. But Paul Joseph leads the way from Cameron Brewster. Then Borna Spoljaric is up to 4th. Oh, Abbas is in the barriers. He was bouncing off of the side of Spoljaric, and that has pushed Abbas down to at least 11th position, if not further. It's all a bit angry as they come out of turn 3. But Joseph leads from Brewster, who's going round, being done round the outside by Hans-Peter Mead, and Mead's going to have him. Potentially Brewster just about holds off. Spoljaric now into 4th position ahead of Aziz. Great starts by those two from Walker, Room, Palm, who's down in 8th. That's not worked out well for him at all. The other lot are getting away, and look at Hans-Peter Mead is diving past Cameron Brewster, and Brewster's now going to be pushed to the outside. Through goes Spoljaric up into 3rd. Is Aziz going to have him too? Yes, he is. And Spoljaric straight onto Hans-Peter Mead, trying to get round the Lexus, who's a Lexi 1-2 at the moment. Aziz goes through on Spoljaric. He's going to hit the back of Peter Mead. No, he just about gets away with it. Spoljaric, I don't think will take great privilege from that. Aziz squirrel sneaking through there up into what is now 3rd position. Great stuff by him. Brewster now holding off Walker, Room and Palm. Palm not getting anywhere. He's still in 8th position. Started 9th. Aziz and Spoljaric. Oh, Aziz dives through on Hans-Peter Mead. That may leave him a little bit exposed on the exit of the corner, because Spoljaric's got a great run. Hans-Peter Mead being pushed out a little bit wide. But, oh, Spoljaric. He's going to have to go so tight. I wonder if that will scrub off some of the MPH off of his line. He's trying to get into Kyril Aziz's slipstream. He's going to run out with nowhere to go, as we're going to go 3 wide potentially down into turn 1. Joseph still leads the way. Aziz is in 2nd. Spoljaric is going to try and follow through. Peter Mead is going to go out wide. Fall back into 4th position. Indeed he does. And Aziz there very, very skiddy on the exit of 2 into 3. Hans-Peter Mead running out wide again. He's been doing that all evening. And he's just about kept into 4th position. He wants another 6th, I think, by the sound of it, to add to his other 2. Joseph still leading. I think Spoljaric may have half a look. No, he's just going to run through. Cameron Brewster getting done by Ryan Walker. Walker goes up into 5th position, round the outside of Brewster. Palms past Rainer Room, is now up into 7th. Then Fleming, Kirk, Rainer Muru, Vouchers off in the grass in 12th. Tyrone Frith is 13th. Ahead of Mike Wrightson, Ben Walters and Robertson. There's all kinds of problems as Martin Palm drives past Cameron Brewster. Room is going to dive through as well. Brewster goes down to 8th position. He's just been rocketed through as Ryan Walker has a look at desperately trying to cling on, and I think that's going to wrong foot him slightly. As what's that changing now? Aziz has got round Joseph, and Spoljaric goes round the outside too. Joseph goes from 1st to 3rd in one corner, and Aziz and Spoljaric pop out like a bottle cork from a complete kamikaze effort there, but Aziz and Spoljaric have got it. Joseph then 3rd now from Hans-Peter Mead, Walker, Palm, Room, Brewster, Fleming there losing it on the exit of the final corner, keeps it but pointing in the right direction, stays 9. Kirk, Muru and Voucher, then a gap back to Frith, and I think Paul Joseph under attack from Hans-Peter Mead. Aziz is holding off Spoljaric just about. Look at the cars all flying down. Peter Mead is going to have 3rd. Walker is going to keep ahead. Barman, where is he going? Room is off, T7, he's rejoined in 8th there, just behind Cameron Brewster, who's got it all to do once again. Fleming keeps the hold of Kirk. Muru gets round Voucher for 11th and 12th position, so a change of position there. Abbas is now 17th position. He's got up a couple of slots, but it's not really going to be his finest hour for Ehab. Lap 4 we are on now. As who's that changing position? That is... who is that? Ah, it's James Kirk getting round Stuart Fleming for 9th and 10th places. Look at them go. Absolutely nuts. So it's now Aziz, Spoljaric, Mead. Oh, Brewster's been taken by Rainer Rum. Rainer Rum 7th position, going round the outside of Brewster. Brewster takes a lunge back through again. But Rum's kept him round the outside. Kirk keeps Fleming behind in the background. Muru keeps Voucher behind too. And, well, this time, instead of it being a three-way fight for the lead, it looks like it's going to be very much two, because Martin Palm now up into 5th position. He's slowly working his way through the cars, but he just didn't get the start that he needed. Probably because he was facing the barriers on the start line. Could never have helped, to be fair, but never mind. There we go, but Spoljaric onto the back of Aziz. Now, in practice, Aziz was half a second faster than everyone. But he's yet to, although he's been up front, he's yet to really be able to replicate that pace because he's never been able to break away. Spoljaric pushes straight to the outside and he's going to try and dive around the outside. Careful, careful, careful. Aziz covering the line nicely, but it's left him wrong-footed out of 3. And Spoljaric's going to go right the way around the outside and he's going to have him on the exit of turn 3, surely, isn't he? Aziz keeps to the outside. The inside. He's going to have the inside line for turn 4, but I think Spoljaric's got much better straight line speed down the straight because he had a better exit. Can he keep it? Yes, no, he can't. Side by side between those two. Walker is keeping Joseph behind as Borna Spoljaric runs right the way out. Side by side these two for the lead, but Aziz keeps it for now. Spoljaric tucks back in. Rainer Rum in 5th position has got round Ryan Walker. Walker now 6th. Paul Joseph is being done by Brewster. Brewster trying to go around the outside. There's contact between the two. You need to know that the car is there, Cameron, before you turn in. Joseph keeps that position for P7 for the time being, but Joseph looking a little bit like he's scrabbling. These lot have already been battling for the previous 2 rounds all the way through as Mark Voucher runs out wide in 12th. Tyrone Frith has got Mike Wrightson over the back of him. The Wrightson's car looking very damaged in 14th position, as it has done all evening, as does Lee McLaughlin in 18th. Pretty much everyone from like 16th down looks like they all need to go to the RSPCA and see a vet with a big needle to say good night, because they are, well, they're all looking a little bit ramshackle and feral. As Spoljaric once again onto the back of Aziz. And you can see behind Hans-Peter Mead under attack from Martin Palm. Spoljaric pulls out. What can he do? He tried this move last time. It didn't particularly work. Aziz has got that one covered better than before, but Palm doing a switch through. Oh, he's going to push Mead round the corner. A new tactic by Martin. Mead's got the position, but he's not got the best exit out of 2 and into 3. Mike Wrights. Oh! James Kirk, P11, skidding down backwards. Oh my goodness me. That was a contact with Stuart Fleming. Oh, he's flashing. I think he's going to try and let Stuart Fleming through or something. Either that or he's flashing in arrogance or ignorance or in apology. But yeah, all in trouble there. As Mark Voucher takes a skidding off, and I've got no real idea what was going on there, but they're back going again in 13th and 14th positions. In fact, they're going right off, as is Ben Walters as well, so all getting a little bit desperate towards the rear end of the field. There's still Aziz leads Spoljaric, those two glued to each other's bumper, as his Hans-Peter Mead's got Martin Palm glued to his. 2 by 2 they go. In fact, Martin Palm pushing Hans-Peter Mead round. There's Martin Palm. I don't know if he's getting a little bit frustrated trying to fight a way through, but Hans-Peter Mead certainly knows how to put his car in all the right places. It's keeping him very much in 3rd place. Aziz not the best exit out of the final turn. That's going to affect him all the way up the hill, but Spoljaric not as close as what he has been before, so I'm not sure whether or not he can actually take as much advantage of it as they come across the line. We'll look at this and then we'll look back for the P3 and 4. In fact, Palm not really close to Mead. If anything, Rainer Rum is the one looking the most evilest out of all that. Is Aziz so late? Aziz has gone well off. Where is he? He's on to the grass. Spoljaric dives through. Aziz an error under pressure from the Malaysian driver, and he slips back into second, and that is Spoljaric straight in to the lead there. Hans-Peter Mead still clinging on to third. Give the man a cookie, he's done so well, but Martin Palm is, well, bearing down on him, and now he's got Reino Rum coming in behind. As Spoljaric there, very much late on the brakes, but keeps it on the black stuff. Peter Mead just about keeping it together ahead of Palm. Rum onto the grass, Ryan Walker onto the grass as well. Then we've got Joseph and Brewster, a gap back to Muru and Voucher. Mike Wrightson's now 11th ahead of Tyrone Frith. James Kirk has just bashed Stuart Fleming down a straight in 13th and 14th position as they try to take their lines. They've got this, look at this train for 15, 16, 17 and 18 with Kirk and Fleming just ahead as well. As you've got Dave Robertson, Ben Walters, Ehab Abbas, Lee McLaughlin all scrapping around. Most of the cars looking a little bit second hand and struggling. And if anything, as Paul Gardner takes a trip across all on his own in 19th. Look at Dave Robertson and Ben Walters side by side into Megulo. And Robertson's got it. And he's gone up the order as Walters comes back in across Ehab Abbas, who's now being team diced. Sliced and diced. If anything, Walters! Well, that's Abbas for you. That's all I will say. And Ben Walters, I don't think he's new to R Factor. I think he's trying to find reverse. That's not going to help us. Here comes Hans-Peter Mead under attack once again by Martin Palm, and Palm is going to be through before they even get to the start-finish line. Or has he taken too tight a line and is now actually lost out? No, he's through. He's through. Reino Rum's going to try and follow. In fact, he's going to try and have the pair of them. Rum, oh my goodness me. Wow. You know what? Even I breathed in during that. Martin Palm yoinks third. Reino Rum goes up to 4, down to 5th now for Hans-Peter Mead. Well, he's had 2 6s already. He may want a third. He may just want to be quite happy going with one better, as Rum immediately on the attack for Martin Palm, and he's going for it and he's through. Can he stop? Yes, he can. Team Estonia up to 3rd. For how long? Martin Palm trying to get back up the inside into this double right-hander. Rum gives him some, and Palm is through. So that was respectful there by Reinu. He has already had an extensive sim racing career in other formulae and has some history for GRC itself. And he's certainly shown he's good on the top end of the form here. Hans-Peter Mead still there, and Ryan Walker's now joined onto the back in 6th place. Lucky Scotsman. And Paul Joseph and Cameron Brewster aren't exactly a million miles behind either. Just one. Oh, where is he going? Palm, come back! Losing it on the exit of Yuncao. A bizarre place to go off, really. I've done it once myself. You can just kind of catch one of the curbs sometimes, and you overcorrect, and off you go. And that's unfortunate there for Palm. But he saved it well. As here comes Ryan Walker having a look at Hans-Peter Mead. He's late on the brakes. Oh, just about got it stopped in time. So, lap 8 then of 10. Spoljaric still leading Aziz, just 6 tenths between them. Then Rum 3rd, Palm 4, Mead 5th, Walker 6th, then Joseph, Brewster, Muru and Voucher rounding out your top 10. James Kirk has just overtaken Tyrone Frith for 12th position just before they get to turn 1. Then you've got Stuart Fleming in 14, Dave Robertson 15, you have a Bass 16, Lee McLaughlin forever braking late into turn 1 17. Ben Walters is in 18th place, he's ahead of Paul Gardner in 19th. And those are your runners and riders. 19 started, 19 remain. Spoljaric. Oh, hello. Martin Palm gets his own back. Oh, I've never seen Martin Soleri. Must be you have too many of them Samba girls. Yeah, maybe the Borneresqueness is starting to finally rub off. Must get to a point where you just think, oh, do you know what? Just floor it. And see what happens. So, Rum now down to 4th outside the podium. The field, as in previous races, very much splintered into several categories. You've got the leading kind of trio, now that Palm is back up there, although he's dragging Reino Room with him this time round. And you've kind of got the midfield gaggle of the online motorsports, the unions, the Sixth Axis Racings and your independents. And then you've got like the next lot, which is your team cores, and those team cores are at it again for Stuart Fleming and Dave Robertson. Dave appears to be the quicker of the two, but he doesn't seem to be the more reliable. And my goodness me, managing to stop in time. I was about to prepare the old and he's gone off on the grass again moment, but Dave Robertson, good move there, past teammate Fleming, and that's now left Fleming in the hands of Ehab Abbas. Someone's off, oh it's Mike Wright, no it's Valja, sorry. There who's going round Reino Muru for 9th and 10th. Fleming's going to have a go back through on teammate Robertson. I tell you what, those two, they're never far apart, and Abbas will have the pair of them if they're not careful. Ehab goes through, that car's wounded, he's got one, he's pushing Fleming, and well, Ehab, he does like to play spin the bottle, or spin the car, sorry, as I should say. Let's see whether or not his tactics can work again. Whew. Like they're all high-fiving bumpers as they go through. As Abbas has a go, and then you've got Tyrone Frith now starting to cling on to the back of this little group as well, as Fleming's going to have a go back down on the inside. Well, Abbas is not having it his own way at all, and if he does take his name after the fish, he'll be trying to slip out of people's hands by the skin of his gills, as that's Lee McLaughlin taking an exterior line in the background there. And Abbas has got them all, and he's now up. Hans-Peter Mead has dropped down to 6th. Why is that? Oh, that's because he's off. He's off down at turn 1. He's rejoined in 7th, now 8th position, as Joseph and Brewster goes through as we start the final lap. That's one lap too late to or too early to make a mistake there, Hans. Back down to 8th you go. What's going on with this battle down into turn 1? Fleming and Abbas once again. Oh, Robertson and Frith! They're off, the pair of them, 15th and 16th position. Contact there, one was pulling across, the other one was going the other way. They make contact when they start decelerating for the corner, and Frith hits the back of Robertson, the pair of them off, and that's ruined that. And well, that's kind of spoilt that for them. And now Stuart Fleming having a go at Ehab Abbas while you're watching the replay, and Fleming takes Abbas for 13th position, and he's got the position. So yeah, Tyrone Frith hitting the back of him there as Abbas retakes Fleming, those two side by side. The leaders though are coming round to finish the race, and well, they were the two that got the good starts. They disposed of the drivers as quickly as they possibly could, and they're the ones that have got it as Fleming retakes Abbas just off our screens again. Those lot will be scrapping right to the line. Borna Spogliaric put the man under pressure, and he's the one that picks up the rewards. Another exemplary drive by Borna Spogliaric to win the third and final round this evening here at GRC Season 13 at Brazil Interlagos. Kyril Aziz follows him home in second. Martin Palm in third. The same three on the podium, never in the same order in each round. Reino Room grabs fourth. Ryan Walker yoinks fifth by 3/10 from Paul Joseph, his teammate. Cameron Brewster in excellent seventh. Hans-Peter Mead an unfortunate 8th position after a last lap drama. 9th for Mart Valja. He'll be pleased with that on debut. 10th for Mike Wrightson, just beating home Reino Muru. That was a change on the very last lap. James Kirk grabs 12th position. Ehab Abbas yoinks Stuart Fleming down at the last corner and grabs 13th. Fleming ends up 14. Lee McLaughlin 15. That car looks abused. Dave Robertson 16th has been abused by Tyrone Frith, who ends up 17th, 47 seconds off the pace. Ben Walters, unfortunately, was Ehabbed and ends up 18th place. And Paul Gardner, once again, valuable points for the Englishman. I'll pop home in 19th for 2 of those points. My good, well, oh, what has happened there? Well, and if that is why, that could be why Paul Gardner is 19th and only picking up 2 points if the straight line is causing an issue. But never mind. An interesting way. But so that, I think, brings us to the end of what has been an absolute classic evening of GRC entertainment. Thank you very much to everyone that took part. That was an absolutely sensational evening. I hope you all enjoyed it in our HD format. Oh yes, HD. And of course we'll be back next Monday from about 8:15, and we'll be at the Autodrome Most for another 3 rounds of high octane action. So whoever bonus Boliaric can continue to go on. There seems to be a little bit of an outbreak of drama in the chat room, but we'll leave that for another day. I'd like to thank Simon Mellerish, who is as ever the cameraman extraordinaire, and whilst he can actually point cameras in the right directions, I struggle to speak a few words. I do apologise. I appear to have been tongue-tied all evening. I'll put it down to the fact that I didn't bother going to work today because I've got the week off. I've been a lazy little moose. And maybe because I've not really seen the outside world, apart from a random trip to Lidl where I did have to laugh as I watched a man with a pallet truck knock over someone in a mobility scooter and completely ignore them. That has actually been the highlight of my day, to be fair. Maybe that's why I'm still slightly shell-shocked from the whole event. Don't forget to join us this Saturday, Sunday from about 2 o'clock UK time. Not sure where else you are in the world, so adjust your clocks. And we'll be there for 24 hours of virtual Le Mans here on simrace.tv. We're privileged to have you all with us. Quizzes, there'll be cake, there'll be kegs. My name's Simon Smith. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll catch you soon. Take it easy for now. Bye bye. I need one too.
Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shout to all my lost boys. Shout to all my lost boys. Dangerous. Dangerous.